Magnus has one big supercontinent, roughly twice the size of Pangaea on Earth. There is, however, another landmass. Miles away from this large supercontinent exists an island a little larger than Greenland called Eden. Eden is a lush tropical island that has been cut from the mainland for several million years. Dr. Redwood and his team haven't really explored it yet due to there currently being a storm covering the island. They've only heard rumors from the Magnusians and the Homo Pithecans. The island in question is like a time capsule for the creatures that didn't make it on the mainland. Their coral reefs contain Anomalocaris, Opabinia, and literal sea monkeys, while their jungles and swamps contain griffin flies, Arthropleura, Tiktaalik, and even things like Coloborhynchus and Darwinopterus. Even the plants are a little different from those on the mainland. However, the biggest surprise is the presence of a sentient species that isn't even human. Meet the Hadrosapiens. They are descendants of a hadrosaur species that crossed via a land bridge millions of years ago. They developed more efficient opposable thumbs, as well as learning agriculture and even fire use. They are a relatively peaceful species and are the masters of plant breeding. They are most famous for their purple bananas and blue apples. Hadrosapien societies are female-dominated, with a queen or princess being of a higher royal status than a king or prince. Aside from royalty, Hadrosapiens don't have traditional relationships. Their love lives are somewhat comparable to bonobos. Polyamorous bisexuality is the main relationship default. They also respect the land they live on, being very careful of not destroying it. They communicate with a mix of calls from their mouths and their crests. They can also see more colors than humans can, which is why their cities and farms are so colorful. Before the storm, many Magnusians and Homo Pithecans would trade with them for goods. One day, Eden Island got a visit from none other than Hiram Lincoln, who was looking for a place to set up his experiments. He found a suitable place on top of a mountain not far from the capital. He set up his lab and began experimenting when he noticed something glowing in the distance. Hiram walked over to investigate and saw an artifact on a pedestal at the top of the mountain. He picked it up and examined it in wonder. The artifact was absolutely beautiful. This gave Hiram an idea. Maybe he could sell this artifact to the Magnusians and use the money to build a better lab. Hiram said goodbye to the Hadrosapiens before sailing off the island, returning to the mainland. However, no sooner did he leave, that's when the trouble began. The Hadrosapiens heard thunder and saw lightning for the first time in thousands of years. Then it began to rain, and the rain wouldn't stop. It turns out the artifact that Hiram took off the island was there to keep the rain off the island. Due to the constant downpour, the colors soon faded, and everything was in black and white. It was now too wet to repaint everything, so the Hadrosapiens were forced to deal with the rain until the artifact was returned. They even sent an assassin out to look for the person who stole the artifact. Dr. Redwood would one day meet this assassin, but that is a story for another day.